Hello, writers, and welcome to the Author Burnout Coach. Together, we will dismantle the burnout culture in book publishing and reclaim our love of stories. I'm your host, Isabel Sterling, and this is episode 2. Before we begin, I have to say, putting together this podcast has been so much more fun and so much more cathartic than I could have guessed. Burnout is a topic that has touched me personally. I've really struggled with this, especially before I found my way to coaching, and it's something I talk about all the time with my writer friends. 'Cause here's the thing, I love publishing. I love so many of the agents and editors and publicity people that I've worked with. I have so much love and admiration for writers at every stage, courageously carving out time to tell their stories. And the thing is, it fucking breaks my heart to see so many writers get chewed up and spit out by the publishing machine. And really, it's not just writers. There are tons of editors and agents and, publicity folks, the folks I just mentioned, who also face burnout and end up leaving this industry in order to have some sense of balance in their lives. I see writers terrified to ask for an extension on their work or not even realizing that that's an option. Writers who feel locked in to subpar deals because they think it's their only chance. They're afraid to bother their publishing team with a question, so they spin out for weeks before asking. Now, this isn't only a publishing thing. A lot of this just comes from living under the pervasive conditioning of the patriarchy and white supremacy. But y'all are my people, so this podcast is my love letter to you. So let's get to today's topic. Let's go. Today we're talking about the lies we tell ourselves, and specifically the lies we believe about our futures. So, anyone who knows me knows I love planning. And if you enjoy that too, that's great. There's nothing wrong with goals or knowing the trajectory that we'd like our writing careers to take. In fact, I actually think goal setting, when it can be done from love and not an attempt to succeed your way to worthiness, is amazing. The problem comes in when we tell ourselves lies about that future we're trying to create. And more specifically, lies about how we will feel and act in the future. So I touched on this briefly in the first episode, but I really want to sort of dig a little deeper here. So we're going to take a peek inside of our brains. So I want you to take a second and think about the current writing or publishing goal that you're working toward. Maybe for some of you, that's getting your first agent, getting your first book deal, getting your next book deal, releasing your debut novel, or maybe it's even hitting that very heavily curated New York Times bestseller list. So get that goal in mind and kind of hold it there for a second. I want you to think about how your life will be different once you achieve that goal. How will you feel? Will you be proud? Do you expect to be happier? Do you expect hitting that career goal will make your career easier? What is it specifically that you expect will happen? So if an answer doesn't immediately come to mind, I want you to pause the podcast and really think about it. You can even grab a notebook and jot it down. Really what we want to know is what it is you're trying to achieve and how you think your life will be different, how you think you will feel once you get it. Okay. So got it? Pause, go do that, come back. So you're back. You know your goal and what you think how that's gonna change your future. So for this, we're gonna use a specific example. I find specifics more helpful than sort of generalities. So I imagine a lot of you listening to this are probably in the pre-agent stage, though hopefully there are folks all across the career spectrum. But we're gonna use getting an agent for our example. So your goal is to get an agent, and you imagine you have your first call with an agent, the one where they tell you that your book is fantastic and they'd love to represent you. You can imagine yourself feeling so excited and proud. You finally feel like a real writer. Now people are going to take you and your work seriously. You have an agent. Your partner is going to respect your writing time because, hello, you have a real life agent. Thank you very much. The writing's going to be easier because you know you have support. You're going to have more confidence. You are on your way to like incredible literary success. Let's cue those confetti launchers. Here's the thing. That future you're imagining, it's full of lies. And those lies, they perpetuate a state of rushing and hustle that contributes to author burnout. So let me break this down and kind of show you what I mean. Because again, it's great to have goals and dreams of signing with an agent. That's not the problem. The problem is these lies. So let's look at them. So when you do first get that agent call, you are likely, potentially, depending on what your brain likes to do, feel genuinely excited and proud. But the thing is, it's not the agent call itself making you feel those things. You feel them because you start to believe new things about yourself. You're thinking things like, holy shit, I did it, and this is amazing. And those are the thoughts that create the excitement. So here's the problem, though, is that after that initial excitement wears off, after that, and you call your friends and it's like celebration time, once that part's over, you are left with all of the beliefs that you've practiced over and over and over again. So if you are somebody who's prone to feeling doubt, you're going to start worrying that maybe you'll choose the wrong agent if you got multiple offers. Or you worry that you're going to let your agent down by not being good at revision, and when you start to feel that doubt and insecurity, you're likely to layer that with some shame, because why not? The shame of thinking, well, you shouldn't feel those things. You're supposed to be grateful that you got an agent. You're supposed to be confident. So let's just sprinkle some shame over all of the doubt and insecurity. And then so you overwork to try to overcome the doubt and insecurity and thus lead to burnout. And let's think about that partner who was supposed to respect your writing time now that you have an agent. Even if they are super excited and they're very supportive of you, they're still going to be the same person before and after an agent. They're still going to leave towels on the floor, and they're still going to interrupt you when you're in the middle of drafting the perfect bit of dialogue to ask whether or not you've fed the dog already. And if you have a partner who thinks your agent is a scam artist, they might think that your writing is just this time-wasting hobby or that you should give it all up. I've seen this. I've seen folks get incredibly good-sized book deals and their partner is still like, I don't know if this is going to work out. So the trap that so many of us fall into is that thinking that our lives are going to be better when we achieve the goal compared to how it is right now. The thing is, life doesn't become better. Life there in the future is not better than it is here. It's just different. Now, I can feel you out there wanting to disagree with me. I can feel you going, hey, Isabel, easy enough for you to say you got the book deal, your books are in stores, you don't remember what it's like. And I promise that I do. And because sometimes it's hard to sort of think about new ideas when it's very close to home, let's disconnect it a little bit from writing. So let's look at it in the context of like traditional diet culture, and we'll see how this lie plays out in that arena. So content warning for the next minute or two, just a little bit of weight loss industry talk. So the mainstream weight loss industry makes over $70 billion, yes, a billion with a B, $70 billion selling the lie that becoming skinny will make you happy. But the fact is, the size of your body doesn't have shit to do with how happy you are. It doesn't even dictate how much you love the way you look. And that's because the facts of your weight or your size, the circumstances of your body, don't cause your feelings. Your thoughts about it do. So if you think your body is inadequate, you feel like shit. If you think your body is yours and amazing how it is, you'll feel good about it. And the size is irrelevant. Those two thoughts have nothing to do with how your body looks or the size of it. Nothing. Think of how many people lose weight because they think that'll be the thing that makes them happy, and then they get there and they're miserable and they find other things to nitpick about themselves. It's garbage, friends. Garbage. So I want you just to imagine how bizarre it is to expect, say you have an asshole boss, well, if I lose weight, they're going to have to be nice to me because don't you know I lost 40 pounds. That's nonsense. And yet the diet industry conditions us to believe that. And it's the same with your writing goals. We expect that achieving our dream of getting an agent, of getting a book deal, of hitting the New York Times list, we expect that dream and the achievement of it to fix our insecurities and our doubts and our fears. But all it actually does is give you new facts to feel insecure about. So don't just get into despair on me though. This is actually really good news. I promise. So if we're able to let go of that lie, that life will be better after we achieve a goal, we can actually get to work learning how to enjoy the process. Because all we ever have is this moment right now. So when we stop believing that where we are is the cause of our misery or stress or disappointment, we can get to work understanding the real reason that we feel that way. Now, the goal of all of this is not to be happy all of the time. The human experience is a mixture of positive and negative emotions. My coach teaches that the mix is always going to be around 50-50, and that's okay. We don't actually want to be happy all the time. That's not a goal. We do want to grieve when we lose someone we love. We want to feel frustrated sometimes because it means we're trying new things and growing our skills. It's also okay to feel disappointed when what we thought would happen doesn't actually come true. I remember being so devastatingly disappointed when my third book that I queried didn't get an agent. I was convinced that that was the best I would ever be able to write, and if that didn't get me an agent, nothing will. Nothing would ever do that. And it was okay that I was disappointed. It was okay because I eventually was able to get excited about something new. And again, that disappointment was in part because I thought having an agent would make me so happy all the time. No. And the thing is, the sting of disappointment, the sting of being so devastated that my third book didn't get me an agent, that's part of what made the joy of finally getting an agent feel so damn good. It's cliche maybe, but we cannot actually enjoy the beauty of the moon and the stars without the darkness of night. We need that contrast. So our work as human beings navigating this world is simply to raise awareness of our emotions, of the thoughts that create them, and get to work deciding on purpose which ones we choose to keep. I recently had a book come out last month, my lesbian vampire book, The Coldest Touch, and, it didn't sell as well as I'd hoped in the first month. And I chose to let myself feel that disappointment. I chose to feel sad that more readers weren't getting a chance to fall in love with those characters. But I also chose to feel proud as hell of the story and the world that I built. I love that book so much. I chose to feel so much love for myself for creating what is without a doubt my best book yet. The sales don't have to have any impact on how I think about the book. And yeah, I do sometimes still feel a little sad just thinking about how many how many readers out there, who maybe are also writers, who I just know will love this book if only they know it exists. And I'm okay being a little bit sad about that. On occasion, I don't linger there though. I really get to still have so much love for that book that served me so well during, and I wrote and edited that all during the beginning parts of the pandemic. And it gave me so much comfort, and I do truly love it so much. Okay, slight tangent over. So what does that mean for you? How can you use this knowledge to reduce burnout? So I want you to go back to your goal that you identified earlier in our little time together. What emotions do you expect to feel when you achieve that goal? Again, was it proud, excited, more confident? Get specific about the goal and specific about what those emotions are, because whatever they are, your work now is to get curious about how you can go about experiencing more of that emotion now. Can you let yourself feel proud every time you show up and get words down, instead of putting off that feeling until you get to the goal? Can you be excited about the way that the story is coming together? Can you cultivate confidence that you will keep trying at this thing no matter what? And can you also be okay feeling frustrated sometimes? Can it be okay to feel disappointed? For me, when I'm disappointed, it's sort of this kind of sinking feeling inside my body. It's not comfortable, but it's not dangerous. It's fine. Can you learn to embrace both halves of human emotion and just trust that the balance will always exist? The circumstances around them will be the only things that change. And the thing is, that change can be super fun. It is super fun to have books in bookstores, to achieve your dreams. That shit is, it's fun as hell. It's super fucking fun. But it doesn't guarantee us happiness, and it doesn't make us happy all the way. There is just no reason to rush and to push yourself into burnout to get to a goal. You can enjoy that goal and those emotions right now. Okay, writer friends, that is all I have for you for this episode. But remember, as part of my 33rd birthday celebration, you are going to get one more episode to enjoy today. So why don't you go ahead and click on over to that, and I'll see you in a second. Bye.